Today I will paint a scene for you with a sky and a far away headland. Here it's coming closer, and here we have a beach. I will also paint a couple of trees here in front and the shadows from the trees. I have pre-wetted the paper and let it sink inside the paper. I have waited a few minutes for that. Then I have put some more water on top because I want the surface to be wet also, not only the inside of the paper. I will start with the sky and with some cobalt blue. I will mix in a little bit of permanent rose to get the sky a bit warmer down the horizon. But I'm only going to mix in just a little bit of permanent rose in the cobalt blue. Okay. For the beach, I will use some burnt umber, very thin, and I can paint with a little bit more burnt umber to make the color a bit more rich also. Okay, we'll start with the cobalt blue. Not too much water inside, because I must have some control over the pigment. The paper is also wet, so not too much water in the mix. Okay. I paint on flat surface. Because I don't want the pigment to flow all over the place. Okay, I pull it down. A little bit of this red, so it gets a little bit warmer down the horizon. I put it on a little bit unevenly so that I don't get a straight line here. Okay, I go down in the water area because the water reflects the color that's in the sky. Okay. A little bit more water inside the mix because the paper is turning a little bit drier. Okay. I want a little bit more water in the paper here. Remember to blot your brush so that it's not too wet. You see how I wetted the brush and blotted it just to soften this edge here. Okay, now we'll go to cobalt blue. Not too much water inside the brush. Okay. This will blend soon. These two colors. I want it to be soft here. Okay, you can blot the brush. Soft edge around the beach. As long as the pigment is wet, you can go back with more pigment. Just touch the warm color, okay? Purple. I want some more cobalt in this. Some more cobalt here. Now it's important that you don't have more water in the mix when you go up in the other mix of pigment, because then you are going to start getting blooms. You don't want that. Okay. Blot. Just a moist brush. Okay, I want to lift some here at the headlands. Okay, now I'm going to put the beach pigment. Keep the same amount of water. Okay, I wanted to start here. Paint some distance from the blue. Because here I don't want the pigments to mix. I dry the brush and lift some here in the edge. I want that softer in pigment. Same here. Softer. Just lift. Maybe some more water inside the... You see here I have wetted the brush, blot it and wet a little bit. Don't want it to get too wet so the pigment are starting to run, okay? I don't want it too dry so I get hard edges. A little bit more water. Now, when your paper is starting to get drier, you need more water inside the brush. The wetter the paper is, the less water in the brush. The drier the paper is, the more water in the brush. You see, you don't get hard lines here, you get it very soft. I lift some here because I'm going to paint the headlands. Soft edges. Okay, for the headlands I'm going to use Perylene green. That's a green that has some blue in it. I'm going to mix in some, so I'm going to change my paper. Okay. I'm going to mix some cobalt blue in this green for the far away headlands. I want that a little bit more blue. The distant sky are making the far away headland a bit bluer. The sky color mixes with the land color. That's why it gets a bit more bluish. Okay, I take that blue headland color up here, and you know the already painted pigment are getting a bit bluer from the sky. Okay, I take some more of this Perylene green and paint that in front. Paper is still wet here. I'm painting on the background of, on the back side of an old painting. You can use the back side as well of the paper. Okay, I see that this is starting to spread a bit more, so it takes more pigment and mix it. Okay, blot the paper. I take some of this purple. You always have to stay with the painting and see what happens. I want some more of this purple down here, so I get the reflections from the sun. A little bit more. Okay, further down. The water always reflects what's above. Here it's the sky. Okay. Okay, got something nice here. Okay. New paper. Always have some paper tissue handy, close to you, so you can wipe your brush. want some lifting here. Remember that the pigment always dry a lot lighter than when it is when it's dry. I want it a little bit lighter there in the water, close to the water. I'm going to dry this so it doesn't float inside the paper. Make it drier. Okay. This is the background. I'm going to dry it. It is completely dry. You feel it. Check with your hand so it doesn't feels cool. If it feels cool, it's you can have some moisture inside, and you have to dry it a little bit more. Okay. I'll take some more Cobalt. This time it's more water inside. You can check on a piece of paper. I want some more water. Okay. If you put some more water inside, means it gets a bit weaker. But remember that it always dries lighter, but you can always dry your paper and put another layer on top if you think it's too weak. Okay, I'm going to make some small waves here, going on top of the beach. Let some of the beach color be left alone. Don't cover everything. That will create some motion. In the beach area. Create some waves out here as well. The waves are coming when appearing when the water is not that deep anymore. Okay, there's some more waves here. These lines, these waves are shorter, closer to each other when you come closer to the to the beach. The waves are not that close out in the distance, so make them more far away from each other, the further away from the beach you get. I'm going to make it a bit darker here. Okay. Blot, soften when you think you need that. If you get lines that you don't want. Only moist brush, not wet. Okay. I get some waves, some motion here close to the beach. You can use some white gouache to make some foams, but we leave that to later on. Okay. We'll just dry this very quickly. Okay, now I will use a mix of Sepia and Ultramarine. For the tree trunks, so I have wetted it. But first I will take some of this light sap green. I will put some yellow in it as well. I think I will use some gold pigment. Put that in the side here so I can use both. Okay. This is Quinacridone gold. Now I'm going to use some dry brush. This is going to be the leaves for the trees. Some of the lighter greens. Leave some empty areas in between. I'm going to put 2 trees here, okay? Some lighter greens, okay. Now I'm going to use the sap green. Take some in the brush. Blot it because I don't want it too wet. Okay, I'm going to put some, drop it in, get some variety. On the greens. Okay, I'm going to use some of the dark still blot so it doesn't get too wet. I paint the leaves first because I want the tree trunk to be painted, and the branches as well be painted in the empty areas. I think that it's easier to make it that way. Remember that you leave some of the headlands without trees, leaves in front. You can turn your brush as well. Here is the bottom of the tree. I want it a bit darker here, so I don't use the brightest color, the lightest color. I use the darker green. I have some brown here, I noticed. Take some new Perylene green, blot it. I don't want that much pigment on the paper. Remember to leave some of the beach color so you can see the beach turning, going further away. Okay. Okay, now you can take some of the lighter color and let it drop in inside some of the darker areas if you want. Just showing some of the light hitting some surfaces, some areas. Get a little more variety. Okay. I'll leave it like that, and now we're going to paint the branches and tree trunk. I'm going to dry this first. Okay, I'm going to use Let's see, I can go on painting the tree trunk, the wider areas with the same brush. I'm going to use Sepia with some Ultramarine. Okay, start up here. You don't go all the way on top of the leaves. Use the empty areas to paint your tree trunk. The leaves are hiding the tree trunk at some spots. So you paint on the empty areas. Thinner tree trunk at the top. Some more ultramarine inside of this. Remember, the tree trunks aren't brown, so you need some of the blue inside to make it a little bit more grayish. I want another tree trunk here. Just checking my camera, so I won't forget to put it on. I've done that. I did that on the last video, so that's why it took some time for me to post this video. I forgot to turn it on at the end of the video, the tutorial. So easy to do. Not more than humans, right? And if you're a bit tired, that's easier. Okay. I'm going to make this a bit softer by washing the brush, blotting, just lifting here so I don't get the hard edge. I'm going to continue painting down here with some grass and stuff, and I want it to be very soft at the end so I can make it blend with the grass. You can always put some more pigment on top afterwards. It's more difficult to take it away, to lift it. Okay. Okay, we have two trees there, and we are going to continue with branches. Okay. Now it looks like the leaves are in front of the tree in some spots, here and here. will change to another brush, Escoda Perla. It's thinner, good for the branches. If you think that it's too light somewhere, you just drop in some more pigments there. Okay. Next. Some branches in front of the leaves and some branches disappearing behind the leaves. Too little color there, drop in some extra. I'm going to take a rigger brush to make thinner branches. You don't need to be too careful about these thin branches. Just a few lines here and there. Remember to make them broken here and there. Okay. Now I will take some greens, make some greens here. I'll take the same green as up in the trees. There will be empty space here. Path. Now some darker Perylene green. Drop it in. You see, I leave some of the light greens at the top. I'm going to paint some darks here behind. I'm dripping in. Some dark here as well. So you don't need to paint any details. I'm going to paint some, put some a little bit warmer pigments at a few spots. Take some brown matter inside the tree here. Need some warm colors as well, and I take some Paynes gray some spots. I want to lift some here, just to make it go inside the greeneries. Okay, I take some of the Paynes gray down here. Okay. I want to dry this. Now there is only the shadows left to paint, and a little bit of white foam on the beach there. So, but we start with with the shadows. It's good to have a piece of paper on the side, and just I have painted the sand color here and just checked how dark I want it. Let's see. I think I want it a bit darker. Okay. Okay. I think the sun is coming from high up, so the shadows will be under the trees here. So I'm just going to crisscross with a brush, make some harder lines and some that I soften up. Okay. Just a little bit water more, I think. Crisscross, and also go round here, you see, so you feel so you can see some shape of the green area here. Try to vary the shape of the lines so it doesn't look too stiff. Some here as well. Some light come through the leaves at some places. Okay. Just soften some of the lines here. At some spots the light comes through a little bit, so the shadow is a bit lighter. Okay. You can always make some shadows darker later on, if you, as long as you paint inside the lines carefully. Shadows do a lot to the scene. Some spots, some lines. Some darker and some lighter. Keep a paper tissue handy so you can lift some color if you want, if you need to. Wash and blot. Lift in between the painting, so you don't wait until it is completely dry before you lift. Letting this go out in the edge. Just crisscross. I need some here as well. Bigger areas of a shadow is of course darker because there is no sun coming through, because it's big. And lifting some by washing and blotting. Some bigger, darker areas as well, to make it look more natural. Okay, I think that is okay with the, maybe here, keep it together a bit. A little bit darker and some, so it doesn't disappear when it's drying. Watercolor always dries a lot lighter, as I told you earlier. I always look at how it looks when it dries, so that you can lift in the meanwhile. if you need so to do that. I think that is quite enough now. Just lift some to connect. Okay, now I will go on to putting the the light foam. I have prepared white gouache. I put just a little bit of water inside, try to make it quite thick so that the pigment underneath the gouache won't show through that much. Okay, just some foam, just make some irregular shapes. Don't overdo it. A little can be enough. If it dries too weak, you just put another layer on top. Now you can also, with gouache, white gouache, paint some highlights on the tree where the sun hits harder, if you like. Maybe I should paint a little bit, but don't overdo that, just a thin sliver. Not the wide one, because then it doesn't look natural. Just a thin sliver. This branch is in the light. Maybe some here. I put this white gouache on the branches that are going into the middle. If you put it out here, it draws the eyes to the outside of the painting. You want them to look inside the painting. Maybe something up there. Down here it's darker because the sun is coming from the over here. So not too much. Okay, let's see, just a few spots, another layer of gouache. I don't want it to be too gray, I want it a little bit more white. Uneven shapes. Maybe a little foam away on the beach. I think that will do. I don't want more. Okay, I think I'm done. Hope you have enjoyed this tutorial, and please consider to subscribe to my channel. It would help me a lot. Well, thank you for watching. Hope I see you next time. Bye bye.